The San Jose Sharks have claimed Vincent Iorio from the Washington Capitals. What are they getting with another defenseman?
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at the Reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first, or maybe now second listen of the day. Proudly a part of the Locked On Network. We cover your team every day. And if you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do is just follow along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. And we're going to be doing a nice little kind of 10-minute chunk here as the San Jose Sharks claim Vincent Iorio off of waivers from the Washington Capitals. So we'll kind of go through his past, what the Sharks are kind of getting here, and where he probably kind of fits in right now. So before we kind of get into Iorio, we do have some kind of corresponding news, as you kind of expected, to be honest, that Timothy Liljegren placed on IR. If you remember in the last game against the Hurricanes, he kind of took a spill at the end, looked like he fell right on his tailbone. So he is on IR right now, and I have a feeling this is very much a corresponding move to that, as the Sharks are trying to add another guy who can potentially help out the decor. And they currently have 10 defensemen. It feels they have a lot of defensemen right now, a bajillion defensemen with San Jose. But let's get to know Iorio a little bit more here. So he is a former second-round pick of the Washington Capitals. He was picked 55th overall in the 2021 draft class. And he came from the WHL, where he played with the Brandon Wheat Kings for 4 seasons with them. In his final season, he played a little bit, like he was part of that kind of COVID class, right? So if you look like the 2020-2021 season, only played 22 games as part of that weird COVID bubble where they played a little bit of WHL games. But he played in his last season with the Wheat Kings. He put up 44 points in 60 games, including 11 goals. Played some time after that with the Caps, but has spent the majority of his time with the Hershey Bears in the AHL. Does have 9 career games. He has an assist in that time as well. But like I said, majority of the time he's been spending on the Hershey Bears, which is a very good, one of the premier AHL organizations. Last season with the Bears, he played 67 games, has 5 goals, 15 assists, with 86 shots on goal. So not like an offensive juggernaut, and that's not really his game. But, he's a guy who's been kind of developing here, and he's only 22. Turns 23 next month. He's also has pretty good size here at 6'3", 201, 205. I've kind of seen both numbers for him. And he's on an $814,000. Like, he's on a very minimal contract right now that expires at the end of this year. So this is for the Sharks, you're taking a bet on talent here as you try to, again, 22, 23-year-old defenseman, trying to kind of figure out what you have here with him. So as for kind of looking at what type of player he was going through his draft process, so Elite Prospects gave him a C grade. They gave him out of a scale of 1 to 9, with his 9 being like super elite type, like kind of grading. They gave him a 5 for skating, so he's a solid skater, 4.5 for shooting, 6 for passing, 5 for puck handling, 5 for hockey sense, and a 5 for physical. Like I said, a C grade for him. And kind of going through his scouting reports, reading about him, he's player with standout tools, generally fare better than jack of all trade types at this point of our rankings. His standout tool, his passing and his outlets, even though his skills are a distributor, only resulted in 7 assists in 22 games as part of the COVID bubble. Iorio is a breakout is basically Han Solo with a blaster. Well-placed laser beam after well-placed laser beam. He misdirects opponents by holding relaxed, even vulnerable before firing. He looks off his target, skates into the lane, and then holds the deception until the puck's released. Even for the long-range 3-line passes, if the pass isn't there, he resets to find the next option and often accelerates on the pass to jump into the rush. Only thing that's missing is the impish shrug at the end of his passes, like the solo, one offered solo by stormtroopers after tricking them out of the shield bunker. Anyway, they do say that like all that deception does kind of lead to a lot of waste opportunities, and that's something he's cleaned up over the past couple of years in the AHL. He has a look of an NHL level defender, certainly there. Like I said, he skates pretty solidly. He does have a tendency to overplay passing lanes instead of grabbing his man, which is something that you're hopefully cleaned up here in the AHL. But he's probably like a low like he's probably a number 5 or number 6 type of defenseman is what they kind of picked for him. So I think the big question here is like, well, why would the Sharks do this when you have so many defensemen? You're having trouble getting guys on the ice, right? Well, one, losing Timothy Liljegren right now, that hurts because Liljegren is one of your better breakout type of players, so he can help kind of fill this role. And two, like the Sharks have had so much trouble defensively. I'm okay with taking shots, right? And especially where the Sharks are at as an organization, you should continually take swings at the bat and try to just figure it out, right? And if the Sharks have to trade somebody, or if Iorio works out for you, that's great. If he doesn't, you can always put him back on waivers, and either he gets claimed by the Capitals again, or he gets sent to the AHL, and you have more depth for when you do need to, like when you start potentially selling off some of your pieces here. So this is very much a low risk type of maneuver. And again, if the Sharks run into contract issues, it's not like they can't trade them. We've seen them work their way through this here. You can trade somebody if you want to trade one of your other defensemen, whatever it is. You have ways to kind of work out through this. So I like the move. I like the Sharks, again, continually taking swings on talented players. And as a former second-round player and a right-handed defenseman, which we know the Sharks need more of these type of players in their pipeline, or at least more options. I think it's a good call. We'll see. Because the Sharks don't play again until Friday. So assuming he probably doesn't get here until Friday, I would expect we probably don't see him on the week. Maybe we see him on Saturday's game. But I would expect they probably want to at least get like at least one practice under his belt. But who knows where he kind of fits in, like when we'll get to actually see him on the ice. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I like the move. I like just taking swings. And if it doesn't work out, it's easy to kind of, again, send them to the minors. If you put them on waivers and somebody else claims them, then it's like no skin off your teeth. And if not, you can trade. If he works out, it's free money basically. So, but yeah, that's I think Mike Greer, keep taking swings. So we'll be back later today with another episode that'll really come out tonight, most likely an interview. So keep your eyes out for that. So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at My Fry Hole. Until later, bye, friends.